California, the land of sunshine, Hollywood, and Silicon Valley. A state known for its progressive values, diverse population, and booming economy. But what if this golden state were to break away from the United States and become a country of its own? The idea might seem like something out of a movie, but the rumblings of secession have echoed throughout California's history. California's journey towards statehood was anything but smooth. Acquired from Mexico in 1848, California bypassed territorial status and joined the Union as a free state in 1850. This act directly contributed to the rising tensions that would eventually lead to the Civil War. Now, over 170 years later, the whispers of secession are growing louder. The current secession movement, while still a minority opinion, is gaining traction. Activists are actively gathering signatures, hoping to put the question of secession on the ballot in 2028. They cite a growing disconnect between California's values and those of the federal government, particularly on issues like immigration, climate change, and gun control. The possibility of California becoming its own nation raises a plethora of questions. Could California truly survive and thrive on its own? What would the economic, political, and social impacts be, both for California and the remaining United States? There's no denying California's economic prowess. It boasts the fifth largest economy globally, surpassing even the United Kingdom. From the tech giants of Silicon Valley to the entertainment industry of Hollywood, California is a global leader in innovation and creativity. This economic strength forms the bedrock of the secessionist argument. California, they argue, contributes more to the federal government than it receives in return. They resent seeing their tax dollars being used to support states they view as less progressive and economically vibrant. Independence, they believe, would allow California to control its own destiny and invest its resources in its own priorities. The state's diverse economy, ranging from agriculture to tourism to aerospace, provides a strong foundation for independence. Its access to Pacific trade routes and its status as a global hub for technology and entertainment further bolster its economic potential. However, severing ties with the vast US market would undoubtedly pose significant challenges. California's economic success is undeniable, but its independence would hinge on its ability to navigate the complexities of global trade, establish its own currency, and maintain its competitive edge without the backing of the federal government. California has always been a land apart. Its history, culture, and demographics set it apart from many other states. It's a melting pot of cultures with a large and influential Latino population and significant Asian American and African American communities. This diversity is reflected in its progressive social policies and its commitment to multiculturalism. California's political leanings are decidedly liberal. It has been a democratic stronghold for decades, with a strong environmental movement, a commitment to social justice, and a more permissive stance on issues like drug use and immigration. These stances often put it at odds with the more conservative policies of the federal government, further fueling the desire for secession among some Californians. This cultural and political divide is a major driving force behind the secession movement. Many Californians feel that their values are no longer represented by the federal government. They see a future where California can be a beacon of progressivism, charting its own course on issues like climate change, healthcare, and social justice. The question remains whether this distinct identity and these progressive values would be enough to sustain California as an independent nation facing the inevitable challenges of sovereignty. The path to independence is fraught with challenges. California, for all its economic might, would face a myriad of obstacles in establishing itself as a sovereign nation. The most pressing concern would be the economy. How would California replace the federal safety net and manage its own finances? Then comes the question of the military. Would California create its own armed forces, or would it rely on alliances with other countries? How would it protect its borders and its interests on the global stage? These are not questions with easy answers, and the costs associated with defense could be significant. International relations present another hurdle. How would California establish diplomatic ties with other countries? Would it be recognized by the United Nations, and perhaps, most importantly, how would its relationship with the remaining United States be redefined? The transition from a state within a powerful nation to an independent entity would be complex and fraught with unforeseen consequences. California would need to navigate these choppy waters with caution and foresight to ensure its survival and prosperity. The secession of California would send shockwaves through the American political landscape. The Democrats, who have long relied on California's electoral votes and political donations, would suffer a significant blow. The balance of power would likely shift towards the Republicans, potentially altering the course of national policy for decades to come. Other states, emboldened by California's move, might consider their own secessionist aspirations. The United States, founded on the principle of unity, could find itself fractured, potentially weakening its position on the global stage. The geopolitical ramifications of such a scenario are difficult to predict, but they would undoubtedly be significant. The economic impact on the remaining United States would also be substantial. California's departure would leave a void in the national economy, potentially triggering a recession. The loss of California's contributions to federal programs could necessitate cuts in spending or tax increases in other states. The secession of California would be a political earthquake, the aftershocks of which would be felt for generations. It would fundamentally alter the fabric of American society and redefine its place in the world. Section 6. The Constitution, a Formidable Barrier. The legal hurdles to California's secession are formidable. The United States Constitution does not explicitly grant states the right to secede. The Civil War, a bloody conflict fought over the issue of secession, established the principle that the Union is indissoluble. Legal scholars point to the 14th Amendment, which states that United States citizenship is paramount and cannot be taken away by states, as further evidence that secession is unconstitutional. Any attempt by California to secede would undoubtedly be met with legal challenges, potentially reaching the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's ruling in Texas v. White in 1869 further cemented the idea that states cannot unilaterally secede from the Union. The court held that the Constitution creates an indestructible union and that states are bound by the Constitution and federal law. Overcoming these legal obstacles would be a Herculean task, requiring a constitutional amendment or a radical reinterpretation of existing law. The legal path to secession is, at best, uncertain and fraught with complex legal battles. Section 7. Lessons from the Past, the Specter of the Civil War. The specter of the Civil War looms large over any discussion of secession. The war, fought between the Union and the Confederate States of America over the issue of slavery and states' rights, resulted in the deaths of over 600,000 Americans. The Civil War serves as a stark reminder of the high cost of disunion. It demonstrated the lengths to which the federal government was willing to go to preserve the integrity of the nation. Any attempt by California to secede would likely evoke memories of this brutal conflict. While a second civil war is highly unlikely, the possibility of armed conflict or unrest cannot be entirely dismissed. The secession of California would be a traumatic event, potentially leading to social unrest and economic instability. The lessons of the Civil War should not be forgotten. Secession is not a decision to be taken lightly, and the potential consequences, both for California and the remaining United States, are profound. Section 8. The California Dream, Utopia or Illusion. The dream of an independent California is a powerful one. It's a vision of a more progressive and equitable society, free from the constraints of the federal government. But is this vision achievable, or is it merely an illusion? The challenges facing an independent California are daunting. Economic uncertainty, military vulnerability, and the potential for social unrest are all very real concerns. The legal hurdles to secession are high, and the historical precedent of the Civil War serves as a stark reminder of the potential costs of disunion. Despite these challenges, the desire for self-determination remains strong among some Californians. They see a future where California can be a model for the world, a beacon of progressivism and innovation. Whether this vision can be reconciled with the realities of independence is a question that only time can answer. The California dream, like the American dream, is a powerful motivator, but dreams, no matter how noble, must be tempered by pragmatism and a clear-eyed assessment of the risks involved. Section 9. A future forged in uncertainty. The future of California, whether as a state within the United States or as an independent nation, remains uncertain. The secession movement, while gaining momentum, still faces significant obstacles. The legal hurdles are high, the political will is divided, and the historical precedent is cautionary. The next few years will be crucial for California. The outcome of the 2028 ballot initiative, if it makes it that far, will be a key indicator of the level of support for secession. The response of the federal government to any serious secessionist movement will also be critical. One thing is certain: the debate over California's future is not going away anytime soon. The issues that divide California from the rest of the nation, such as immigration, climate change, and social justice, are only likely to become more pressing in the years to come. The California dream of independence may ultimately remain just that, a dream. But the conversation it has sparked about the future of the United States, the nature of federalism, and the rights of states is a valuable one that deserves our continued attention.